Good morning to a cloudy but bright and always hot day 153 today. Was 152 yesterday. Kind of a bit grey and old, so I always forget where I am and what I'm doing. But that's what happens when you live in paradise. Yeah, sure, okay, good. So that was Pedro saying about pumping out the water out of the septic area, because every time we leave it for more than a couple of hours it fills back up because it's obviously got a natural spring at the bottom. So he's got to pump that out, and then Junior's got to get his big toothpick, and he's got to start drilling out the base. So that's got to be done. Steel benders are cracking on with the steel. As you can see, they're pretty much halfway through now, so they want to get right over here. They've made up all the back steels. As you can see, these ones here, there's loads of them over the road, so they're literally going to be able to put all these in quite quickly. But yeah, these guys are erecting more scaffolding so they can come across. The guys that are actually doing the carpentry element have got the front boxing on, and once the beam is finished they'll get the back on, but what they now need is the tie rods. So here what they use, they'll drill through some holes probably about an inch either side, they'll put a conduit through it, and then they'll put a bolt with nuts and washers on either side, and that's what they use to hold all the way along the concrete. Obviously in America they use fiberglass or certain plastics, and they just clip them and that's it, and they're in the concrete forever. Here they literally clip them. Morning buddy. They clip them and then they obviously pull them through after they've finished. So that's pretty much what we got to do here, and they normally buy them in like massive lengths and then cut them to length. But obviously they've got all the boxing at the back here made. It's just a case of erecting and installing with the tie rods once we can get them. So they've been chased and hopefully they'll be here this morning. I assume somehow they're going to have to build up and over here. I don't know how they're going to do that front part. That'd be quite interesting to see. But obviously this forms part of what's going to land up being where the roof connects to. So the beam that will be boxed up at the background here, and it will come across and connect into here. So that's hopefully going to be happening today with the carpenters on the other side. But yeah, yesterday obviously redoing that beam did set them back a little bit. So ideally that would have been done completely both back and side, and they'd be cracking in with this morning. But steel benders, obviously, as I said, had to redo all of the actual stirrups because they did them too wide. So anyway, still work to be done. I'll talk around in the rest of the job in a second and show you what else has got to be done. The guys here are loading in the ply sheeting. Ply sheeting coming to this side here and clearing this side because the guys need space. And in here, obviously the guys finished off. It's a bit messy, needs tidying up. But the guys obviously nearly finished off getting this over yesterday, so we've not actually controlled where we're going to be putting the jacks. So hopefully the jacks are in the right place. They've still got to put a couple of supports through here. So I think they put 4 along here. So yeah, 4 supports along here, and they're going to put 4 supports along here as well. So yeah, that's got to be finished off today. But as soon as they've done this bit, then obviously they're going to go straight through to the other side. But they need the other side finished off so they can actually come this way. But again, they've got the internal boxing to be done here on the outside. They've got the side piece here to finish off as well. So there's plenty for them to get stuck into. And then we'll also keep the beam in the ceiling along here as well. We can drop down by 8 inches because there's going to be a suspended wall going right through this piece here. But I'll have to have a talk to them about that later on today anyway. That's where we are so far. So I'll update as we go throughout the morning. It's now 8:20. Okay, we're 20 to 2. 20 to 2. More woodwork, more stairs, more framework. How's it going? Beams flying through. We're desperate for a few bits here at the moment. Oh, we've got ply. Bet that hurt buying that. Okay. So the external beam has been boxed all the way along and on the inside as well. We've actually got the threaded bolts here as well. So they'll put obviously the trunk in all the way through, conduit all the way through, then put the bolts through with the washers and the bolts. Got the actual ply delivered, which is going to be for the roof. Make sure that doesn't disappear as it has a tendency to do. Beam is nearly finished on this side as well. so they can crack through doing what they're doing there. In here. Roof's been done, more jacks in. A lot more jacks as well, again. Not looking ready to go over as yet for some reason. Oh, that's obviously because we need to get that beam sorted out on this side. So we need to get the boxing in and around here sorted, otherwise you can't go across. It's going to be the same problem this way, and it's going to be the same problem off of here. So again, we need the boxing to go up as high as it needs to go over. All the tubes being cut everywhere. What else we got? These boards connect up the beams up here. We've also got the staircase now having the rebar put in, which is good. Got a bit of a piss wall over there, but it's connected, which is good. This one can go up at some stage as well with that corner being poured. Tyson over there in the pit. Water's, they're struggling to actually get the water out now because the water's coming in quicker. So we need to get the water in, get the sand down and the tank back in to see where we are with that. We've also got to take this up by another block and then the beam, and that becomes the roof. And then we'll also get the bit up on the top of here done as well at the same time. So, yeah. Don't know when we're going to be ready for the roof. It's all loaded in as well by the looks of it, so that beam is actually in place with the smocks on as well, so need a few more smocks on. But other than that, we're good in there, we're good in here, and we now need to get that over this way. So we need the boxing on the inside done, we need this beam here brought along. I'm not too sure why that hasn't been brought along actually, we talked to them about that. They might be thinking about doing it above on the roof, but I think that's better to have that coming down. So that needs to be continuing as it is now all the way along, and then those would sit on the front. Other than that, that's where we are so far. It's 20 to 2 as we speak, so still a bit of the afternoon left. So let's see if we can get a few things finished off, especially that bloody septic tank. I'll have another day with that septic tank, it's driving me nuts. So anyway, let's see how the rest of the afternoon goes. Wednesday afternoon, and we're having some septic fun. The septic tank fun continues. So we've got the drill man now has done his do. We've literally drilled out as much as we can. We're now repumping the water back out again. So we've got 2 natural springs, one in that corner there, filtered water coming through, and one in this corner here. We have to keep the pump going on an ongoing basis because it just fills up so quickly. So. Anyway, we've just taken this last piece out down here, so that's going to be scooped out now, and then we'll have to put a sand base, which we'll try and put as much of the sand back in again, and then probably more on top of that, and then hopefully the tank should be good to line up. That is the plan. So we'll see how that goes. Junior's about to go in there with the bucket. We'll take this off at least, and then the bucket's next. Whilst they're doing that, I'm going to have a quick update on what's going on around here. Can go under the wall to get the actual block walls of the staircase connected in, as we've done over here. As you can see, it's been cangoed in, the block is going into the wall itself. So that wall and that connection is now nearly done. We've got to pull the concrete column at the front and the side. That one's been done already. The boys are flying through the carpentry. So we've got this man here that's doing the staircase. As you see, staircase is up. Have a quick look up there. Sorry about the wind. Okay. I don't know what's going up here. I think we might have the floodlight going up. Okay, yeah, so it's the door beam. That doesn't look high enough. Okay, yeah, so that's obviously the door frame. So it's the door is actually going to be probably 10 foot in here. So the boxing they've actually put in there is right, but the boxing's got to go to the ceiling because there's a 2 foot bit of glass above that. So we're 12, 4 1/4 to the ceiling. So the ceiling itself is going to come straight across. Then there'll be a 2 foot window above that and then a 10 foot door. So they'll adjust that. Listen, I know they've been told difference. Heat. Okay, so in here's looking a little bit more busy. Okay. Got more acros. Boarding done pretty much as long as they can now until we get that beam coming across. These boys busy now. This beam is done. They can crack on. So they're actually now fixing the side pieces on. This side's done in and out, and they've also started cutting the threaded steel. So you can see now on the beam itself, you've got like conduits now being screwed in. And basically what we need is the actual beam itself. We'll take these bolts either side to hold the actual sides in place to ensure that when the concrete goes in, the pressure doesn't push them out. And we'll be doing the exact same across this as well. This is going to have bigger stuff. So all the way along here as well as the front. And they can't go across the roof at the moment until this is obviously taken to height and gone across as well. So that beam needs to be put in, connected up to here, then it all needs to go across after that. Same thing will happen here as well. So anyway, that's now starting to look like a big box beam. Lots of ply, which we're going to make sure is kept and used for the roof. I assume they're actually drilling the holes in here. Lots of holes drilled all over it, so I'm not too sure if they're drilling that for the conduits or whether they were already pre-drilled. But anyway, they're going to be able to use those holes. Okay, nothing else has happened on the pool and around the area at the moment because all efforts have gone on to trying to get that done. So we want the roof installed and we want to be pouring concrete Saturday to Monday. So still quite a task ahead of us, but it's starting to get there. We have decided, painfully, to go along with an 8-foot ceiling in the bathroom, which means we're going to keep the garage roof the same height. So unfortunately, the 6'8" door is going to go back in. The column, the beam that we had at the top that we broke out, we're not going to put back in. We don't need that. There's actually a column above that. So we'll box it up and pour that, and the rest of it. And the rest of it, obviously, we're going to have to go up 2 more courses, and then the beam will come on all the way around and be poured, and that will become the height of the roof for the garage. So that is, you're pretty much now looking at the height of the garage roof going all the way along to over here. So yeah, still lots of work to be done, but it's getting there. Again, it's that, what time is it? Why does my watch never work when I need it to? 3:45. The sun is absolutely stunning as always. So another hour left of the day. So we'll see what happens by the end. Okay, so 10 to 6. Evening's finished. Carpenters are packing away as we speak. Dogs are going crazy as always. So the beam, the 4-foot monster, is pretty much in. So we've got the whole beam in, and we've got all the boxing both sides where they need to be. It's a monster of a beam, that's for sure. Absolute monster. So there's still a few pieces over here that need to be erected tomorrow. But it's pretty much in. So we've got the whole beam through here, and then obviously the beam will come over here to the top and connect up with this one, but it's actually a beam going upwards, so it will be underneath up. Still got a few more acros to go into here, but that's pretty much done in there. And started installing the actual bolts as well. So again, what will happen on this as well is exactly the same as happening here. So you can just about see you've got tie bolts going right through, and that's to physically hold the pressure of the concrete, because you can't actually push any stilts up against it. or have anything on the floor leaning up against it. So you would normally have something here going straight up, propped into the floor. Because you can't do that, you've got to put the bolts through. So these are 1/4 inch bolts. I would have thought they're pretty much all the way through now. Yeah, inside as well. So they put like a sleeving through these little bits of conduit. Stick the actual conduit through, and then from the conduit they then obviously put in a 4x2 on each side, and then they bolt them either side. So they'll be reused on the front as well, because I have to do it all along the front. These ones are going to have bigger ones on there. They're going to be longer, probably more robust as well. I would have thought they'd be inch ones, but they'll be done top and bottom. So I did see some holes there, but I don't know if they pre-drilled or there seems to be holes all on it. So they're either pre-drilling the holes or they're holes that were already in it before. But again, they'll have one at the bottom, one at the top, and they'll probably do it every, I would say probably every 2 to 4 foot, all the way along. So anyway, that's what's happened here. Obviously the septic, you saw the drama going on there again today. So that's nearly done. God, can't even get out. Scaffolding everywhere as well. Nice to have had that since day one, that's for sure. The guys are going up on the roof. So let's have a quick look up on the roof. It's a bit dark at the moment, but let's go and have a quick look. Okay, so some rebar up here already. Not too sure what they're doing with that. They could do putting that down at the moment, that's for sure. And we're actually going to have to duct tape all of the actual gaps as well, because this is old, 2 to 3 month old plywood that's been left downstairs. It's warped a little bit, so there's gaps everywhere. So if we don't take them up, then they're just going to the concrete's going to pour through onto the floor downstairs. So we're definitely going to have to do that. Yeah, so that's the upstairs. Get up there tomorrow and have a good look. Go down a ladder one-handed. So I'll have a good look up there tomorrow. But I want to try and get all the actual joints taped up there, so that when we do the pour, we don't lose half the concrete through the floor onto the floor down here. Door frame's been put in at 6'8" here. They could do the same here as well. The formwork is starting to go on the inside here and the inside here, so that's nearly ready to go across. So again, that'll be 12-foot ceilings. You can see how tall the ceilings are going to be in here. The beam was going in at 10 foot today, so we managed to see that and stop that, thank God. They seem to have something on the front. I'm not too sure what that is, but we'll have a look in a minute. But there'll be a beam across the front. Right across the front there'll be a beam, and then there'll be a beam 7'4" from the front as well. Here they're going to put 2 rows of blocks around here, 2 rows around here, 2 rows around here, another beam, which is, you can't see the beam here, but there's another 8-inch beam that'll go on. It'll be 12 inches of concrete, and that will actually have the starter bars going out that way, starter bars going out that way, and that will be the garage roof. So we'll have an 8-foot ceiling in here, unfortunately. One thing I didn't think about is it's actually an 8-foot window going in there as well, so we're gonna have to make sure that fits. So that will be literally floor to ceiling window. So that's one thing we are gonna have to consider. This is all boxed in ready, so there's a bar actually now, rebar and beam connected in here. This one goes all the way in and connected to this, and this one is going to land up being tied into the 4-foot beam, and then another beam will go that way. So that's that. And then today the boys have been doing the rebar and the steps into the garage. That will be the garage floor down there, so you can see how high up we're going to land up coming. So yeah, it's been a reasonably productive day today. Spun the camera around, but obviously you can't see a great deal because it's now going dark in Barbados. It's actually 4 minutes to 6, and this is pretty much what you get at 6 o'clock. Alan's got his lights on in the trees over there. It's gorgeous. So we're certainly going to, I'm going to make the most of that as well. I'm going to make sure I get a lot more lighting under the trees It will be awesome, that's for sure. But anyway, that's it for day 152. Here's to tomorrow.